before we understand Anandanagar, we have to understand the Shri P.R. Sarkar. What is so special about him that that we should be studying his planning for Anandanagar. First, that you should know that he gave bulk of the planning of Anandanagar, consisting of literally thousands of projects within a span of 3 years, from 1987 to 1990, just prior to his physical departure from this earth. Just like, I think you listened to that first song, he composed 5,019 songs in a span of 8 years. And it is amazing that one man could give so many diverse melodies in ragas and musical, scales and whatever, and it all came from one mind, so, and then that was about music, but here it is about town planning. And when he designed this entire city, he did it sitting in one room. He did not even go out of the room, just sitting inside the room, and even people sometimes outside the room, and he is giving the dictations about the, how every inch of land is to be utilized at Anandanagar. He was not using geo-satellite maps. He was not using, architects and engineers. And yet he knew about the location of each and every inch of land of Anandanagar. Of course, those who are close to him, and we know that not only Anandanagar, he knew the geology and of the whole planet. He could talk about, if he's talking about Croatia and Zagreb and things, and he will tell everything about that place as if he is physically witnessing it. So this was his omnipresent mind, which he brought to bear to give the planning for Anandanagar. And this is very important. So this is not an ordinary thing that somebody just said, oh, out of sentiment, let us build something here. And no, it's not like that. It was a very conscious choice of first why this land should be procured here. Because he said that this is part of the ancient geological landmass, which was known as Rad. When there was Gondwana land, the earth was just like there was one landmass, and there were snow-covered peaks, and it was surrounded by water all along, all around. And then over hundreds of years, these snow-capped mountains, they became smaller and smaller, and all the silt and all the sand and all the stones and everything gradually is what helped to build the entire North India and the Northeast India, and even the North India is built out of that Gondwana land. So this land mass actually is one of the oldest land mass. So there are very special minerals. That's why this entire belt of Jharkhand, which is because Anandanagar is located on the border of West Bengal and Jharkhand, and it is full of so many mines and minerals, and so when during the rainy season, when there is thunderstorms, it is really it's very frightening even to hear these thunderstorms. It's like they are going to enter your room, because the area is full of and then there are at that hundreds and thousands of years ago, there were mammoths here, animals which were 4 times the size of the today's elephants. They used to roam here. And so there are very special places where they used to go and die, and they have created fossil hills, like what we call Asti Pahad. Later on, I'll show you some images of Asti Pahad and other places like that. But so this is, he founded a spiritual movement in 1955. And 7 years after that, in 1962, he said that now because the organization was growing very fast, so he said, now we have to build, we need a bigger place. So he directed them to go in this place, and that's where, he started. So 7 years later, Anandanagar was founded, and then a lot of opposition came. from the tribal people, and the Communist Party, and so many different obstacles came. But then, so important thing I wanted to say is that, you see, sitting in his room with his intuitive mind, he could visualize the potentiality of this entire area and what can happen there. And that's why you will see, when you go into the deeper planning of Anandanagar, you will see that he has given the more than 1,000 agriculture parks. He has given 223 agriculture research centers. He made us to bring the plants from all over the world and to plant them and to create a natural gene bank, so that this area will be the most conducive to provide to protect those trees, when then many other places there is, due to pollution or whatever other reasons, the plants become extinct, the varieties become extinct. These things will still be protected. So and then he envisioned the township not only for Jharkhand or for Bihar or for Bengal, but as a universal township that would establish the glory of the entire humanity. That's why you will see that when he gave the road network and he gave the names, he named it like Bose-Einstein Road, Bose-Einstein Sarani, or Sigmund Freud Corner, or Oliver Twist, or Madame Curie Sarani, or Kabir Mode, or like that. It means he took people from all over the world from human history who have contributed to the development of human civilization. He has honored them. He has given them respect. So when you walk on the Bose-Einstein Sarani and every day you talk about, okay, I'm on the Bose-Einstein Sarani, you begin to honor those people. So the goodwill of all those people is there in the air, is there in the soil, is there in the pathways which you walk on. So it is a universal township. It's not only that, oh, he gave it to a Bengal and everything is only for Bengal or for Bengalis. No, it is a universal township that he envisioned. And he only wanted to set a model so that everywhere else in the world, like such eco villages, what usually we call them also master units, they will follow those traditions, so that they will also see that we have to honor all the good people who have come on this earth and who have contributed to the development of that area or the entire civilizations. So that's a very significant point. Fourth, I already mentioned that he started from a place which was the most neglected, the poorest, inhabited by downtrodden humanity. He wanted to show that humans must begin with the service to the poorest of the poor and build up from there. The service spirit alone can be the foundation of building a new world. And this approach must be bottom up and not up down. So in up down approach, if you have money, okay, you can go and buy anything. But if you are poorest of the poor, you have no money. And yet you need survival, that you have desire to grow and to evolve and to expand your opportunities. So how to do that? That's why you will see that in Anandanagar, there are so many activities which are for the benefit of the local villagers. And in fact, I went there after 20 years and I saw that actually in the nearby villages like Chitmu and Guridi and many others, every house now has a motorbike or has a pakka house, where at one time they did not have even only thatched roofs, and they were in summer and winter they used to have problems. But now already their standard of living has gone up. But of course, still we have a long way to go. Another aspect is, which I also mentioned, that the physical dimension alone cannot quench the infinite thirst of human beings. So the spiritual hunger must also be fulfilled along with physical hunger to create a blissful society. Now, during this lockdown, we used to have spiritual dancing and functions in all the different villages, every day in a different village. And it is completely green zone because it's so isolated, that for one reason, but also because the mind of the people is so elevated because of the this taking this cosmic ideation through kirtans, that people's mind were like free. The children's were, they were playing, and they were, every day it was just like fun for them. The sixth aspect is that the traditions are important and provide the basis of the cultural life of the indigenous communities, but it is not enough only to live within the bounds of those age-old traditions. Society is dynamic, and we must learn to keep pace with the changes due to the time, space, and person. Belief systems must be tested on the criteria of logic and reasoning. Hence, the faith must be supported by rationality and higher values in order to bring joy and happiness in people's lives. Old modes of thinking must be replaced by newer modes of thinking, as long as they benefit one and all. So this is, of course, indigenous wisdom is also important, but many times indigenous wisdom alone will not suffice. It has to be complemented by the developed knowledge. Another point which I also mentioned, that animals and other creatures are also living beings like human beings and need to be dealt with love and care. Opportunities also need to be provided for their growth through training centers for their development. So maximum sanctuaries need to be built to protect their habitats. Now, you'll be surprised to know that there are 80 sanctuaries designated, and all the plant scheme for those sanctuaries has also been prescribed by the founder. He spent hours and hours and hours, just like agriculturists and horticulturists, telling about which plants would be good for here, where I should plant here and not there, and which plants will attract what type of birds. And he says, by planting those things, you will attract, the yellow colored birds or red colored birds or, black colored birds like this. So when he envisioned, gave the planning for Anandanagar, he gave a lot of attention to the needs of flora and fauna. And this is, and these are all compiled in what we know, what is famously known as Asimananji's diaries or notes. And but it really requires some experts to make sense out of those combination of plants which he has prescribed for different places. So and then he did not lose sight of sustainability. He said sustainability is indispensable to establish resilience for each community. Hence, economy should be built in harmony with nature and local resources. Utilizing the proud principle of maximum utilization and develop technology, we can create self-sufficiency in all basic human needs and requirements for the comforts of life. That should be priority for every community. Renewable energy sources must be harnessed to the maximum. That's why there are 52 solar energy compounds, renewable energy, for magnetic frictional energy, hydroelectricity, all kinds of possibilities have been envisioned in this. Then there are about 1,000 industrial compounds and commercial compounds, but bulk of them are called FAR-Pro and IN-Pro projects, which means farm products and industrial products. That means by first giving attention to the farm agriculture in that particular area, you can develop the agriculture-based industries, agro-industry, agrico-industry. So this was a very practical guidance on how to uplift and to to change the whole economic condition of that whole particular area. Then he said that the resources must never be wasted, especially water and waste. Water, his principle he gave was that even a drop of water which falls in the rainy season should be arrested, and it should not be allowed to go to the sea. What does that mean? That means that if you only take the groundwater and just use it, then the water table goes down and down and down, and then gradually, the place turns into a desert, as it has happened in the case of Punjab in northern part of India. We brought green revolution, and then we used a lot of pesticides, and we put bore wells were made everywhere, and today that entire area is turning into a cancer-infected area because of these. The pesticide has gone into the water, and the water table has gone down, many hundred feet. So, and he said, no, not a single bore well. You should have wells close to the rivers, close to the streams, so that they will preserve and the groundwater and the plantation. So, and he gave a planning for, I think, more than 1,500 water harvesting structures called sires. So the sire means like a water tank, or water pond. But then he also gave the planning for what type of trees should be planted around those water ponds, so that their roots will help to preserve the water. So these are kind of certain basic principles in the development of Anandanagar, which will ensure that this will become a place of abundance in the future. Now, it is too early to decipher the gems of ideas contained within the planning notes of Anandanagar, as dictated by the founder to his close disciple Acharya Simananda. But I shall only touch the surface by making you acquainted with the present status of the project and sketch of some areas which display the beauty of this new humanist initiative launched by the rare genius of our times. I hope that you will feel inspired to come to enjoy the sleeping beauty of Anandanagar and share your pious love for the dreamland by ensuring its actualization. And mind you, that it is not only a project for Bengal, or it is not only a project for India. It is a project of the entire humanity. It is you can say that it is the gift of the Shri P.R. Saka or Shri Shri Nandamurti or beloved Baba for the entire planet Earth. So they all can come and enjoy the beauty and his gift. He said, "This is my gift to the world." So and I will talk a little bit about Gurukul also, because the whole educational part is a very strong component of this project.